All right, let's get into it. Today, we're literally going to engineer a blueprint for your next high-stakes interview in project management. This isn't about just winging it, it's about building a solid framework for success. Let's start building. So this is the big question, right? You've got the skills, you've got the experience on paper, but how do you actually translate all of that, under pressure, into an offer you can't refuse? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. And that, right there, is the big idea. The best interviews, the ones that land the best jobs, they aren't improvised. They're like any well-run project. They're engineered. They've got a clear structure, they have goals, and you bet, they have measurable results. We're going to give you that blueprint. Okay, so part one, this is all about nailing that first impression. It's about how you define yourself and your value right from the very first minute you start talking. Ah, yes, the classic opener. Tell us about yourself. Look, this isn't just small talk, you guys. This is your opening move. It's your one chance to frame the entire conversation and position yourself not as just another candidate, but as the solution they've been searching for. Now look at this answer. What makes it so powerful? It's the immediate punch of value. It doesn't waste time with a long personal story. It jumps straight to the point. Here's who I am professionally, and here's the impact I make. Boom. 20% and 18%. The interviewer instantly knows you're about results. So that's the natural next question, right? They've heard your headline and now they want to see the substance. They want to understand the full scope of your experience in facility management. And here's how you answer that. You show them you can handle the whole shebang. The key is to communicate that you understand the full spectrum of operations. You're not just a specialist in one little corner, you're a manager who gets how all the critical pieces, mechanical, electrical, civil, have to work together flawlessly. All right, so you've made a great first impression. Now we're into part two, and this is where you prove it. This is where you back up every claim with hard data, solid processes, and real results. So, when they ask this, what are they really asking? They're testing your process. They want to know if you're just putting out fires or if you're proactively managing performance with actual data. In really competitive markets, like in the Gulf, hitting your service level agreements isn't just important, it's everything. And this is how you make it real for them. You don't just say you improved things, you show it. You talk about daily monitoring, you talk about dashboards, you talk about corrective actions, and you tie it all to a tangible outcome. Suddenly, that 20% jump isn't just a number, it's a story of your success. Okay, here's another classic, the problem-solving story. They want a story, for sure, but they want a very specific kind of story. They're looking for a structured narrative that showcases how you think, how you analyze, and how you execute. And here's the most important part. Your story has to end with a number, always. Fixing that recurring HVAC issue? That wasn't just about making the office comfortable, it was about cutting system downtime by a massive 18%. Remember the formula: specific problem, clear action, and a result you can measure. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Technical skills might get you the interview, but leadership is what gets you the job. This next part is all about proving how you lead teams, how you handle the pressure, and how you inspire people to do their best work. When they ask about managing your operations and maintenance teams, they're not asking about schedules and spreadsheets. They're digging into your philosophy as a leader. Are you a micromanager, or do you empower your people? They want to see that your style leads to real efficiency. So why does this answer work so well? Because it hits on three key pillars of great management: structure, communication, and trust. You bring clarity with tasks, you create alignment with briefings, and you build your team's capability by empowering them. That's a leader. And now for the stress test question. An emergency hits. The system is down. What do? They're not looking for a superhero story. They want to see a cool, logical process that shows you can keep control when things get chaotic. And this right here is the perfect formula. It proves you can think clearly under fire. First, you assess safety and business impact. Second, you delegate, get the right people on it immediately. And third, you communicate, keep all the stakeholders in the loop. It's a professional, repeatable process. All right, we're heading into the home stretch, part 4. These questions are less about what you've done in the past and more about your potential for the future. It's about your ambition, your self-awareness, and how you see yourself growing with their company. The question everyone hates, what's your weakness? But listen, this isn't a trap. It's actually a massive opportunity to show that you're self-aware and that you're serious about your own professional growth. The secret sauce to a great answer here is the pivot. You start with a real past weakness, maybe a tendency to get too bogged down in the details, and then you show how you've actively worked on it and turned it into a strength, like learning how to delegate effectively. Okay, the 5-year plan question. They're looking for 2 things here, and it's pretty simple. Do you have ambition? And does that ambition fit with their company? A vague answer here is a huge red flag. And this is what a great answer looks like. It's a clear, ambitious, and totally logical path. It shows you're not just looking for another job, you're building a career. Mentioning a specific goal, like getting your PMP certification, shows you're proactive, and aiming for a senior role shows you plan to stick around and grow with them. Okay, that was a lot, I know. So let's boil it all down into your winning formula, something simple you can take with you into that room. So here it is, your blueprint in 4 simple steps. 1, quantify your impact. Always use numbers. 2, structure your stories. Problem, action, result. 3, demonstrate proactive leadership, not just reactive management. And 4, align your ambition with their future. That's it. That's the game plan.
So at the end of the day, it's all about reframing how you see this whole thing. An interview isn't an interrogation. It's the very first project you're going to lead for this new company. So go in there prepared, with your blueprint in hand, and engineer the outcome you want. Now, are you ready to lead it?